Hello and welcome to Big Conversations with Tea. It's a monthly program, a monthly talk show. Giselle has been waiting. She's our civic affairs educator. Is all about civic affairs right now with Giselle. How are you doing, Giselle?
Doing well. Thank you so much again for having me. And this time I just want to double check to see if our tech is working. Is my audio coming across well?
Oh, your audio is brilliant. Your audio is absolutely amazing. I am going
Fantastic.
to give you the floor. I cannot wait to hear all what you're about to say. I've not heard it before now. So yeah, I am quite passionate or really interested in city council, and you have your eyes as the city, and go for it.
Excellent. So, welcome back to all the listeners of the show, and welcome to the Edmonton City Council segment. Again, my name is Giselle General, and I'm here to share insights and information to help you feel more engaged and informed, particularly about our city government, so you can make the impact you want to see. First off, again, is our rapid fire segment, which is a short summary of what's been going on in the city that I highly recommend that you keep an eye on. First, a few updates on the LRT construction in different parts of the city. The Valley Line Southeast, the route from Millwoods to downtown, is anticipated to open in summer 2022. Test drives of the vehicles are being conducted throughout the line, as well as open house events for the different transit stations so people can visit them before the entire LRT line is open to the public. Also, the Valley Line West, which is the route from downtown Edmonton all the way west to Lewis Estates, is also in progress. There is significant construction and work, such as moving utilities, and building foundational structures along 87th Avenue near West Edmonton Mall all the way to 156th Street. Every summer, the Green Shack program of the city is set up in many local neighborhood parks. If you are in a playground and you see a tiny green shed that might have little paints done by children doing artwork, it means that the Green Shack is set up in your area. These free drop in programs, where there are free group activities for children, run from July 12th to August 27th for this year. You need to check the City of Edmonton website to check the particular schedule in your area because in some green shacks, programming happens during the weekday mornings, weekday afternoons, or weekends. There is a variation. The city is currently collecting feedback from Edmontonians about how snow and ice clearing can be improved for future winters. The past winter presented tremendous difficulties because of the rapid change where there is freezing and melting of snow and ice in our sidewalks and roads, which can become very dangerous. In addition to that, the number of roads and sidewalks that the city needs to clear out had expanded so much over the past few years. The different options on how we can improve the service and coverage by the city in clearing snow and ice, as well as the associated increase in budget, will be presented to City Council. The police budget is a huge topic these days, given that it is the largest item in the city's budget. City Councillor Erin Rutherford proposed some changes in the funding formula and process, where the base starting budget would be $385 million starting in 2023, and a different, separate funding process for items that are requested beyond the baseline budget. The Edmonton's Police Commission has two councillors in it. They are Councillor Hamilton and Councillor Stevenson. One of the members of the Police Commission, Jody Calahoo Stonehouse, claimed that there is a conflict of interest because one of Councillor Stevenson's staff, Rob Huell, is a vocal critic of the police. The counter argument is that Rob Huell, whenever he expresses his criticisms of the police, he does this as a private citizen and he is entitled to give such feedback, and had emphasized that he does not advise Councillor Stevenson on matters related to the police. The land where the city downtown airport used to be is now being built into a residential area called Blatchford. Councillor Tim Cartmel raised concerns that the target number of houses that should have been built in the area is missed by a wide margin, and that the prices of the homes there could potentially be out of reach for the average individual. Currently, there are 32 houses built out of the target 2,700 homes, and the price of the townhouse in the area starts at $500,000. Next, I want to talk about how you can share your insight, because many of us who care about our city would like to give feedback in many ways so that our policymakers, the city council, would listen to us when making decisions. There are many different ways to share your insights and make your voice heard. And tonight, we're talking about social media. Many people these days use social media to connect to a large group of people, share information, and build relationships. But there are important things to think about when dealing with social media and political figures. The first important thing to note is that there is no strict policy or procedure as to which platform should the politicians use. Also, many politicians, including our city councilors, they don't all use the same platforms. So some of them could be active on Twitter or Instagram, some on Facebook, maybe not at all. And some of these social media accounts are managed by the staff of the elected representative. For instance, the mayor has two accounts. One is their personal one with their name. So I'm sure you saw the Amarjeet Sohi Twitter account. And there is an official one for the office of the mayor. And to support all these, there's staff behind the scenes that help manage the content. In addition to that, there's no mandatory process on how quickly should they respond to correspondence on social media or whether they should even respond at all. The city council, our elected representatives, are subject to a code of conduct that they have to follow, which broadly means that they should treat constituents with respect. However, social media is a bit of a different ballgame. The code of conduct is pretty broad, and it also involves a formal complaint process if they said something that you did not appreciate and you think is problematic. So it's a hit and miss. It might not always work. There's also a lot of gray area when it comes to targeting, cyberbullying, and spreading misinformation. So if you use social media, proceed with caution and awareness. An important thing to note is that there's also social media platforms for different services and departments. A short example, when it comes to the city, the Edmonton Police, public transit, and libraries have their own respected social media accounts. So depending on the topic, it might be more effective to connect with those accounts instead that of the city councilor or mayor, or if maybe you can connect with both if you think that is what would be the most effective solution for how you want to raise your concerns. If that particular politician had a track record of being responsive on social media, then connecting to them using those platforms can work. And another tip I'd like to share is you have to watch out and make sure you're engaging with their politician public account, not their personal account, especially if they made it really clear to do so. Otherwise, if you're not personally connected, you're not friends, they'll probably ignore the personal message you sent on their personal Facebook account, for example. For more official correspondence, the other channels I've mentioned last month really is the better way to go, such as emailing their office, phone calls, or making a meeting request. And on future episodes, I will share more ways on sharing input on specific issues about our city. And next, now I want to jump into the City of Edmonton ABCs. So I'll recap again what the ABCs are. It stands for Agencies, Boards, and Commissions, which is a group of people, usually volunteers, who apply and get appointed to make decisions or give advice to the city on certain topics. I am an example of those. I applied and now I'm a member of the Edmonton Transit Service Advisory Board. So I give input and feedback on how the city can improve public transit because that's a passion of mine and because transit is a responsibility of the municipal government. So the second ABC on the list is the Anti-Racism Advisory Committee. And this is one of the newer ones, launched just in early 2020, around July. It was launched after the passionate advocacy of Edmontonians to address racism in the city in light of the incident with George Floyd and all the different um, race based harassment and issues that came to light in 2020. The goal of this committee, which has 12 members, is to make recommendations to City Council through reports on community based issues. They try to continue awareness and dialogue on anti racism. They also sometimes recommend funding allocations on initiatives that address racially motivated hate. For this committee, just like many of the IABCs, recruitment happens in the beginning of the year where regular people like you and me from all walks of life can apply. There are announcements by the city when applications are open, and many community minded people, such as members of other committees like myself, elected representatives, we try our best to spread the word and encourage everyone to apply. An application is similar to applying for a job where you have to log into the city's online application portal. You have to send in your resume, a few reference letters, and an interview. But it's an interview with counselors. It's quite an experience. So if you are interested in participating in any of the ABCs, including the Anti Racism Advisory Committee, mark your calendars so that when applications are open in January, you can send in your resume and apply. And now I want to end our segment with our very important segment called 311 at your fingertips. As I mentioned last month, we are very fortunate to have a lot of different three-digit services in the city, like 211, 911, 811, and 311 is for the municipal government. A really great method to file for complaints and concerns that you see that is under the city's responsibility, such as potholes, street lights, garbage, snow and ice, and many more. Last episode, I talked about the different platforms where 311 is available. And tonight, I'd like to go through a little bit of a deep dive on how to use the 311 app after you click the new request button. And this screen here would be our useful visual tool over here. As you can see, there are different types of complaints you can file, such as complaints related to roads, sidewalks and trails, public transit, whether there's vandalism or a bus is late, litter, parks and trees, issues with neighborhoods and parking, and many more. Our municipal government is responsible for maintaining many things in the city, and we are a big city. So, with our size and all these many things that are happening, any information that we as individual citizens can provide will help them a lot. So, let's go through some of them. So, as you can see, there's one called roads, sidewalks, and bike lanes, which I would say is probably the category with the most complaints. If you see a pothole, big or small, a crack on a sidewalk that might be cumbersome or dangerous, choose this section over here and the appropriate subsection based on the type of structure and your location. If you look at the other categories here, the one for litter and waste, and there's different subcategories as well. There's options for public litter, so let's say an overflowing garbage in a river valley trail, and waste management concerns in your own home. Because as we have experienced last year, the city just changed the waste collection process about less than a year ago. So mistakes might happen, and that's completely all right. And this is your opportunity to file a report so the issue can be corrected as soon as possible. So if you haven't yet downloaded the 311 app, and sometimes you feel motivated to report the things you see around you that you know the city's job is to fix those, now is the time to do so. And that wraps up our segment on the Edmonton City Council updates. I'm your host, Giselle General, your everyday engaged Edmontonian, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me, Giselle?
Loud and clear, yes, T.
Okay. Thank you very much, Giselle. I'm really grateful for your time there. I didn't realize when I did the 311 that was already part of your stream. I apologize for that. I was downloading the 311 app on my phone and just, playing with it, following exactly what you're teaching us. I'd like to say a big thank you, Giselle, for your time tonight. And we'll see you June 18th next month. Thank you so very
Absolutely.
much, Giselle, for your time. We're really grateful for all the work you do
My
for
pleasure.
us.
And
Thank you.
everyone, have a good long weekend.
Yes, yes, of course. Have a good long weekend. All right. Bye bye.
Take care.